My name is Mike. Welcome, everyone. This is the presentation on galactica.com, which is the ultimate identity stack, which is something I'm going to be talking about right now. And yeah, thank you for being here. We have a lot of cool announcements today. We have a demo even, a little bit of a boring presentation by myself, and a little bit of a cooler one by Frederick, who is behind me, who is responsible for most of the cryptography in the protocol. So table of contents, I guess we can skip. So basically, first question, what is Galactica? So it is the identity stack. It is a set of technologies to instill meaning into the concept of Web3 identity. Instill meaning means pretty much to construct it and to be able to use it, to give it utility. So then there are other less important, I guess, definitions, but all in all, it is powered by FHE, and there is a very nice way to prove that this thing cannot work without it. Like the identity cannot work without FHE in Web3. And yeah, well, Swissborg is with us, so I guess it's also cool. What's up, guys? Good, good. Yeah, so basically, the idea, why do we do all of this? So it's very important to understand that the new wave of use cases in Web3, similar to how DeFi has innovated the finance institutions frontier, the social institutions and basically the new big thing in Web3 will revolve around identity. So you guys kind of know it as DSOC, I guess. So that's at least the term which is used conventionally. And what I will show you in this presentation is that the most important thing is the Web3 reputation. So this is the concept which instills the meaning into the identity, into the Web3 identity. And that's pretty much what DSOC is. It's Web3 reputation and the use cases around it. Hope this makes sense. But basically, yeah, so what is Web3 reputation? In order to understand that, firstly, yeah, so the forefront of identity revolution, that's where Web3 reputation is. And Web3 reputation will create all those use cases, well, that DSOC will be comprised of. Yeah, so I guess before answering what is Web3 reputation, it's kind of cool to understand what is Web3 identity, because everybody is talking about Web3 identity for a very long time. So starting, I think, from Civic, if you guys remember even that, it was quite some time ago. Huh? So basically, and so everybody is talking about constantly coming up with Web3 identity, defining what Web3 identity is, etc., etc. But there is no particular definition. And so I guess that we have come up with quite a cool framework to define what Web3 identity is. And I will try to explain you that thing. But all in all, basically, the idea is that our core thesis is that Web3 identity are just data points and ways to use them. So basically, take your Web2 data. If there is a way of moving that Web2, on-ramping that Web2 data into the protocol, into some sort of a blockchain protocol, for example, Galactica, giving it certain privacy properties through FHE and ZK, and then all those data points, what they comprise is a soul or a identity, pretty much. So that's what identity is. Identity is just data points arranged in a particular way with certain, well, ways to use them afterwards. So that's what basically identity is. So this is probably an easier way to show this. Basically, it starts from off-chain stuff. So Web2 social graph, all your social networks, things of that nature, whom you're talking to, Facebook, Twitter, whatnot, likes, comments, retweets, everything. Identification is pretty much all the demographic, geographic, that's Google's business model, right? So basically all that stuff that Google collects and all that stuff that Google uses to stuff some pesky advertisements down your throat. So pretty much, and data silos are all the other Web2 things like Binance, like your fitness app, like all those other things where a particular app stores that data on their servers and then probably monetizes it, probably not. So basically all that thing comprises your Web2 footprint. So your Web3 footprint is pretty much just the history of your on-chain activity. That's quite easy. And so basically, if you have a way of bundling that thing into one particular vault or like an encrypted something on-chain, and then to allow, then this vault pretty much is persistent identity. It's called persistent identity. This is pretty much the on-chain identity. And then basically, when this identity interacts with the other such identities on the protocol, well, that's your Web3 social graph. I hope this so far makes sense. A little bit convoluted, but kind of like logical, all in all. And so basically what Web3 reputation is just certain slices of activities of persistent identities. So that's what Web3 reputation is, and the use cases around that reputation is, as I said, very important for the things. So definitions we'll skip, I guess. Well, that I guess we can also skip. And so yeah, basically, I guess it's very easy to understand, well, it's the easiest to understand the Web3 reputation through the desired properties that we would like it to have in order for it to be usable and make sense in general. So one thing that I guess reputation needs to be private, because if the reputation is public on an open ledger, then obviously it is it is observable by anyone who is using that ledger, and therefore it is not really cool for you to be able to to use it or to have it simply because it's available to everyone. So pretty much, I guess it comes without saying that the reputation needs to be private, the data needs to be private. So the second thing is that it needs to be verifiable. So when you prove certain statements about your reputation to others, well, obviously these others need to be able to understand that this reputation is, correct in a sense. Otherwise, it doesn't make any difference, any sense. It needs to be user-defined. So in other words, there shouldn't be one centralized party that dictates what reputation is. So pretty much my definition of reputation and your definition of reputation might differ depending on the use case. For example, if I want to give an under-collateralized loan to someone, then there is my understanding of the risk, and so pretty much that's the reputation I care about. So for every use case, there needs to be a definition by the, set by the user. So it needs to be computationally feasible, so we need to be able to compute it on-chain, that I guess quite obvious. It needs to be origin agnostic, in other words, it needs to be able to originate off-chain or probably cross-chain, so pretty much, just anywhere digital. It needs to be expressive, so this needs to be quite expressive in terms of the functional form, because again, reputations are quite different, I guess, depending on the use case. It needs to have good UX, so people just need to care to use it, in a sense. And, so basically, reputation slashing, we'll get into that a little bit later. But in this presentation, we will focus on the idea that reputation needs to be both private and verifiable. And this is the two properties which are extremely difficult to achieve. And because nobody was able to achieve them in the past, reputation hasn't really existed in Web3. And so, yeah, I guess, Fred, do you want to take over?
Thank you very much, Mike. Hello, everyone. My name is Frederick. I'm one of the blockchain engineers at Galactica, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you very much to Zama for organizing the event where we can talk about FHE and its use cases. And one of the main takeaways is that for the desired properties we want to achieve for reputation, putting together the privacy and the possibility to verify it in a decentralized way, we can solve this on a blockchain using zero-knowledge proofs. But where it breaks down is if we try to add more of those properties, especially later the reputation slashing. But now I want to first dive into some insights I would like to share with you about how to design reputation functions. So imagine that you are a protocol and you want to leverage reputation in your use case. The question is, how do you model the reputation and how do you parameterize it to achieve the incentives you want to give to your users? And in a very basic way, you can start with reputation as a product of a couple of reputation inputs. So each of those axes can be one thing you can do on-chain or off-chain. For example, it can be a one-off action, like completing the onboarding process or proving that you are a real human. But it could also be some repeatable action, like contributing to a DAO proposal. And what's really nice here, if we bound those reputation inputs, so at the lower end from 1 and maybe at the upper end to 100 or something like this, and then you can exponentiate it by this parameter alpha, to kind of steer what parts of the reputation inputs you want to weight more or less. And if you put this alpha into the range between 0 and 1, you also achieve diminishing returns. So at the example of the contributions to DAO proposals, contributing 10 times gives you a lot of reputation, but if you contribute 10 more times, it gives you less reputation. And what you can also do is you can integrate a dynamic system where you reward active participation. So if we add a time component into this X, we can, for example, make sure that contributing to the last 10 proposals gives you more reputation than doing the same work 2 years ago. And yeah, this base system gives you already some flexibility so that you can design the reputation for the use case you want. So going back to the example, maybe one protocol wants to build a lending platform where the reputation should model something like creditworthiness. And another protocol is maybe a governance DAO that wants to reward expertise or past contributions to the protocol. And you can steer the system by changing the alpha parameter. And one thing that's also really nice is that you can modify the system as it's evolving, because maybe you're adding a feature at some point, and then you want to change how your reputation function looks like. And an important property we identified there is that the reputation function should stay predictable. So even if the function changes, the reputation should smoothly transition from the old form to the new form. Okay, so much about the theoretical stuff, how you want to design your reputation function. Now I would like to mention some of the challenges that arise when you want to come up with a design for the technical implementation. Because as I said, solving for the individual properties that we want to achieve for reputation is manageable. But if you want to add everything together, it gets really complex. And one of the points where we found the biggest problems is if we want to combine privacy against tracking with reputation slashing and multiple user accounts. So to explain a bit on what this is about, the privacy against tracking part relates to whenever you do an activity on-chain, where, for example, you prove to a DApp that you are from a particular country, or you prove to another DApp that you're at least 18 years old, or you interact with a certain platform. Each of those actions leaks a little bit of data about you. And with zero knowledge, we can make sure that it doesn't leak much more than what you're proving at the moment. But still, if there are a lot of those proofs on chain, those can accumulate into a trackable profile of a person. And this we would like to prevent by allowing the user to split his activity over multiple accounts. So I can do, I don't know, my lending business on one account and all the meme coin activity on another one. And then other people, if they look at the public block explorer, they are not able to accumulate this into a profile of me. And now what we would like to combine it with in the reputation system is slashing, so that you can penalize malicious behavior by reducing the reputation score and maybe even reducing it below the default starting value. But now if you have those two or those three parts together, you have a problem that a malicious actor could actually hide his malicious activity in one of those accounts. So as a protocol, we would need to enforce somehow that in the reputation system, all accounts are taken together. And there are ways how we can do this with zero knowledge, because from the personal data you can onboard in the Galactica system, we can build a zero knowledge fingerprint to link together all the accounts. But when you want to prove the reputation score across all of your accounts, the zero-knowledge proofs get really complex and so big that the usability suffers a lot. So you reach limits on what you can do on consumer hardware, where we want to allow the user to generate those proofs. And it gets really slow for the user, is not much responsive anymore. And all of those challenges are one of the main reasons why we are interested in fully homomorphic encryption. Because with fully homomorphic encryption, sorry, I forgot this slide. So just to repeat, with blockchain, smart contracts, and the cryptography, we can achieve privacy and verifiability we want to have for reputation. But to get a feasible user experience as well, we found no good solution yet. But when we add fully homomorphic encryption, especially what ZAMA offers with the FHEVM, we can achieve more. And we really like the FHEVM because we can integrate it into the Cosmos SDK infrastructure where we run our blockchain on. And it fits really nicely with the EVM smart contracts where a lot of the DEP infrastructure and the zero-knowledge verification is running on. And what's really nice is that with FHE, you can do confidential processing of reputation scores on chain, meaning that you can push the effort from the user side to the professional validators. So no longer you as a user have to generate a big zero-knowledge proof on your machine, but instead the processing step can happen on chain on the validators. While still, this is a very important point, maintaining the privacy, that your data stays confidential. And another really important point is also that you can program the system to model the behavior in smart contracts, so that, for example, you can implement a kind of fraud investigation. How, if a DEP is forced to implement it for regulation reasons, they are able to implement backdoors in a transparent and open way. Yeah, and now with this system, we think that we can achieve all of those points at the same time, because we are have another design space where we can use FHE. Yeah, then I would like to hand the mic back to Mike.
So basically, I hope we kind of made it clear by now. I really hope so, at least, that what Galactica Network is basically, okay, technically it's a layer 1 built on Cosmos SDK and augmented with FHE, but the most important thing is what we try to achieve is to pretty much build this verifiable and private Web3 reputation, which is basically the idea of bringing the social into the Web3. And without all those properties that Frederick was talking about, it is just not feasible. And so pretty much if we want to use our identity, want to monetize our data, to use our data, and to make it pretty much a part of Web3 landscape the same way as financial capital is through, for example, tokens and coins, then we need the, well, just due to inherent privacy concerns, we need the, a technology like this. So yeah, but what about the use cases? So I guess, sorry. This I guess we can skip, and this also, this also. Do we want to show the ZK KYC now? Yeah, so basically, we have started this venture with Swissborg back in the days. Alex. So we started this venture with Swissborg back in the days, and so one very important consideration was to create a system to bring compliance into Web3 without kind of, well, while retaining the spirit and ethos of Web3. So basically the idea which we did not want to do is to come up with some kind of a quasi-decentralized or actually centralized CBDC dystopian thing. We wanted to come up with a thing which retains the Web3 ethos while retaining, well, while enabling for some sort of compliance. And so basically I'm proud to announce that today we are showing something we have not shown before, I guess, to anyone. And this is the integration of a Swissborg KYC directly into a permissionless Web3 protocol, which is Galactica. And given that, well, Swissborg is a regulated broker, I do not believe that currently there is anyone else who can say that such integration exists. So, Fred.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so now we can switch to my laptop for the demo. And basically what I would like to show you is how the user experience looks like for this onboarding process. And what we are doing here is we are creating a zero-knowledge certificate, which is an important part of the Galactica protocol. Basically, a zero-knowledge certificate is an on-chain attestation for some verified data. And in this use case, it's the data about me having completed the KYC procedure, attached with name, address, birthday, and so on, so that I can later make some zero-knowledge proofs that I comply, for example, with age restrictions or that I'm not on a sanction list and so on. And first, when I go to our website and the dApp, I can install the Snap. This is a wallet extension that can be integrated into MetaMask, where we allow the user to hold his personal data in self-custody and also generate the zero-knowledge proofs in self-custody. So I install this here. I accept all the permissions the Snap is going to use. And now the next step is to complete the KYC process. And this is just an ordinary, how you're used to it, where a third party is verifying your credentials. So I can go here to Swissborg. I send them a commitment hash. This is a nice way that makes sure that the Zcash certificate is later connected to my address, so only I can use it. But it's also hidden in a way that the guardian, Swissborg in this case, cannot associate this personal data with my on-chain activity. So I send them the commitment hash from the Snap. Now I'm forwarded to the Swissborg interface. And because I'm already a Swissborg user, where I have completed the KYC process, now I only have to allow Swissborg to export my data and issue this certificate on Galactica. So 1 second, I have to scan this QR code, accept the permission. Now, Swissborg is telling me what kind of data is included in this. And now it's creating this zero-knowledge certificate, issuing it on chain, and then giving me the encrypted file that I can include in my self-custody wallet later. It needs a second for the transaction to go through. Now I download it. I go back to the Galactica interface, where I can now import this into my wallet. There are often these pop-up windows you are used from MetaMask, where it's basically asking me if it's okay, if it should really import this zero-knowledge certificate. And now I have everything that I need to prove to some dApps that I comply with their rules. So for example, I can now prove to the onboarding system that I have completed a KYC, that I'm at least 18 years old, and whatever other requirements it has. So first I want to generate the zero-knowledge proof in the wallet, which is now happening in the background. Now MetaMask is informing me about all the disclosures I make with this proof. And then I can send this transaction on chain, and I will receive a soulbound token for having completed this process. And that's already everything that I wanted to show you here in this step. And what we are going to add next are all the fully homomorphic encryption features that extend this infrastructure, giving you the possibility to onboard personal data, to also using it in the reputation system in a way with good usability. Okay, now we can go back to the presentation with the slides. And I hand over back to Mike.
Thank you, Fred. Yeah, guys, so basically, where is the thing? So basically, this was the use case with the KYC. So again, the very important thing is that this data is obviously inherently sensitive. This data is obviously, it's kind of like even sounds scary to move your KYC on chain, if you know what I mean. So that's why it's quite some effort to build such infrastructure, and the most important thing is its privacy-preserving features, yet your ability to generate all kinds of things on chain and to, well, yeah. And so basically, I guess we have another set of use cases I wanted to present today, and maybe this is actually even a cooler one from all the perspectives, or maybe not, I don't know. You be the judge. So basically, there is this thing with the influencer economics. So influencers, they do obviously, they drive the attention economy that we know and we have today. And yet it's kind of very difficult to verify frequently whether a particular influencer brings value or not, whether a particular influencer uses bots or not, etc., etc. And given that today projects benefit so much from the value that influencers provide, there must be some kind of a cool way to use the same technology that we are using for boring KYC to actually verify whether a particular influencer is, well, it's good or not. And in case if one is, then maybe even give him certain or her certain rewards, right? Proof of value, if you will. So basically, Fred, how do I switch to the... just skipping all the things. And so today we have a nice announcement to make with Anna from Cointelegraph. So with Alex from Swissborg. Alex. So, sorry, this is appendix. And yeah, the thing is called ct.com. I know the domain is cool. And so, well, yeah, I guess Anna. Alex, who wants?
First of all, hi. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay. 1-1. Friends meets friends. Is it a clicker? Okay. Alex, feel yourself comfortable. Hi everyone, my name is Anna. I'm BD lead at Cointelegraph Accelerator, and today I will present our second use case. Hope you're fulfilled with the technical part and no more technical details, I promise. Before we will dive into presentation, I want to ask you guys a few questions. Who invests yourself as an angel or part of fund? We have few person. Okay. Who worked with QAL, who've been looking for QAL, who've been evaluating QAL? We have 1 person, 2 person. Okay, cool. And who evaluate any person in the industry? Have you texted to some team like, is it credible person or not? Is it worth it to talk to this person or not? Have you evaluated any unknown person out of the industry for further connection, for further discussion? Just to understand, is it worth it to talk or not? I do, because I'm leading BD at Cointelegraph, and this is my main job, to bring credible, valuable contacts for my portfolio company, for my team, for my partners. So today we're presenting City.com and City.com. We basically invent Launchpad, not the Launchpad that we used to know, new social-fi Launchpad. Yesterday we talked with Alice, my dear friend from marketing agency, and we invented a new determinant of the Launchpads, social credibility Launchpads. And the main use case that we offer to mainly QLs as a step 1, then it will be available for all Web3 users that act in the blockchain space. So basically, I will skip the technical part because our folks, they just explain what we're doing, what kind of technologies we involved. So this is just the use case that we aligned in City.com reputational proof of value Launchpad. Well, the Launchpad for tokens, a little bit dead, sorry. What we initiate, City.com Launchpad for economic and reputation. So what we're going to do, welcome to reputational new era of digital passports that align all the technologies that we've been talking about this event, and shortly as a step one, all influencers, and then every one of you will be available to get what we want to do. You just have to connect your wallets. Sometimes you will add your email, and we will produce your score, your social score. What's next? This is how it will look like using Galactica Network technologies. And please meet our credible partners. We know Swissborg for many, many years. I know you guys, I've seen your impressive work, for example, for Favor. This is social network out of Lens protocol. Those guys generate more than 100 users, credible users, 100K credible users within 1 month for this social network. So we want to align the forces. Technical part from Galactica, Michael, community part from Swissborg, and Cointelegraph, the media and community. And shortly, it's supposed to be a QR code, but we don't have it. Must be there. No. Yeah. So there's the metric that everyone will be available to get once a lot of us will be providing our data, and we want to qualify ourselves to talk to other people. And hopefully the guys will provide the QR code where everyone can scan and leave your email for further updates. And we are more than welcome you as a future CT.com verification passport. Thank you, everyone, and hopefully you will join our innovation with Cointelegraph, Galaxy, and Swissborg.
Bonjour tout le monde. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Good. Salam alaikum. I just came from Dubai. This feels like Dubai, by the way, today, guys. This is Dubai, April, May.
You brought this weather.
Thank you so much. Amazing presentation, Galactica and Cointelegraph. Very happy to be here. I just want to be very, very brief and share a few stories with you guys, and hopefully that will resonate and you'll see yourself in those stories as well. But I was having a conversation with Sunny over here, this gentleman, just last night at the hotel, at the Renaissance Hotel here in Brussels. And we were just talking about how at age 44, so I just turned 44 last month, we realized that when you want to create partnerships, it's no longer transactional because we start seeing the limitation of time and we start realizing how time is even more important than money sometimes. And so we want to go through the heart, the gut feeling, and work with people that you want to wake up and work with and not feel like you're forced every day and go through pain and unnecessary stress. So I must say, you know, this relationship with Mike here at Galactica is truly a spiritual one. My brother and him, they're more connected than me and my brother sometimes. And then Anna as well, like amazing, not just the brain, she just has really good energy. So that was one of the factors on really on the emotional side, like how do I want to connect with the people that we invest in and partner up with? On the logical side, what really got me interested in Galactica was, of course, Lenster, Farcaster, there are many solutions out there, but a lot of it is too Web3 based. And most of the data as of today is Web 2, it's not Web 3. So I was thinking, you guys are right. You have to connect both worlds because if you want to create some sort of data monetization, you really have to bring in the off-chain and on-chain worlds, which is exactly what Swissborg does. We connect the banking rails and we execute on-chain, so on Solana. So the only execution layer in the world that can go from euro or Swiss francs and execute through 8 liquidity pools indexes on-chain. And so that really resonated in terms of the mission and the vision we have of the future. We're not people on the far left. We're not on the far right. We believe we're right in the middle somewhere where all people can create a new world, the new world of finance. And I really resonated with that Web 2, Web 3 combination. And the second part that I resonated, who here uses Brave browser? So Brave has one of the coolest utilities out there, but the type of data that you share for advertisements doesn't make any money. Who here makes more than $20 to $30 a month through Brave? More than $30. Who here makes under $10 in BAT coins by using the Brave browser? Roughly, right? So we all agree that not only you need to have Web 2, Web 3, but then the extra layer is, what is the data they're going to sell that will bring a business model? And that's a lot more complicated. And then when they were talking about the first case of last year here alone in crypto, we had $4 billion of airdrops. 4 billion. Now that data is probably worth something, right? When you're someone like Starknet that literally does an airdrop, everyone dumps your token and it goes to zero. And then that's an issue, right? You want to have a data to build a community that will help you sustain a business. And then I'm thinking, okay, financial data makes sense, right? You need financial data. Can't be just advertising like the Browbrazer that just doesn't scale in terms of tokenomics. So all of a sudden, Web 2, Web 3, financial data, Mike started getting me really excited. I was like rubbing my thighs. Okay, this seems like something cool that I want to do. And then all of a sudden, you know, literally within a few weeks, Mike was saying, like, we have to create SocialFi, an identity layer, as Anna was saying. And we were thinking, okay, now this is even more interesting because right now at Swissborg, we're trying to create an investor club of clubs, as you have a fund of funds. Who here is familiar with a fund of fund concept? So as you guys know, fund of funds have been gaining lots of traction over open funds simply because you diversify your risk. So maybe you guys understand AI better than I do. Maybe I understand SocialFi better than he does, right? And you have a multi-managerial approach where everyone can benefit from a pool of investments, right? So you can get exposure to people who have a specific field of expertise and choose as an LP or as an investor who you want to invest in. So we thought about that, and then we thought, oh my God, what if Cointelegraph, what if Swissborg in terms of community, Cointelegraph in terms of media, what if Galactica? And then I'm very proud to say, and this is going to go out within press media releases in the next few weeks, but we also have Coin Bureau. So Coin Bureau, all of these parties are joining what we call an alpha alliance. So as the VCs or the fund of funds will pass around quality deal flow and extract different types of value from the different investors, we are creating an investor club of clubs, bringing that back to the community. And if you are raising funds in the future and need some traction, imagine having, once again, Coin Bureau, Cointelegraph, Swissborg, and future other partners so that you can grow your community and don't end up like a Celestia with some block transactions that have zero, some blocks that are minted with 0 transactions side, or a Starknet that literally has 0 users. So that's what we're trying to do all together. And once again, congratulations, Mike, for everything. And I look forward to working with you. And I feel like this group, this alliance, is going to bring back the love to the community. So have a great day, guys.
Thank you, Alex. So, yeah, guys, I guess that's pretty much about it. So I guess we have given a couple of announcements, which are kind of nice. So I guess the Swissborg KYC thing was cool. This is even cooler, and then Club of Clubs is, I mean, like completely somewhere in the other Galactica. So thank you so much, guys, for being here. Really appreciate the attention. And yeah, I guess we are indeed one club that is building the future. So yeah, well, thank you for being here. Any questions?
Like we saw like the onboarding process with KYC was using a zero knowledge proof. I think like it was interesting. Like I think this is like a decision you've made because like we could imagine that the KYC just push a transaction on chain with FHE saying, okay, I just verified this wallet and this is like the value, and you can like generate certification attestation on chain directly with FHE, with FHE VM. So you're still using like ZK zero knowledge proof to like once the process is done. And I feel like it was interesting because you said that basically like the provider for KYC doesn't know the wallet, so he doesn't know how it's like handled in the process, like to differentiate both.
Okay. So I guess like there are a couple of things to unpack. So first of all, in terms of data leakage, so there are two ways in which way you can expose your privacy, right? So one of them is when the KYC provider directly knows your address, which he verifies. Apologize. So in this way, it's kind of obviously bad because whatever you do is exposed to that KYC provider. And if the KYC provider, God forbid, gets hacked, then, well, basically the hacker knows your entire transaction history, your name, your address, this, that. So it's like super bad. It's super sensitive data. That is the first thing that needs to be hidden, so this link. So then the second thing is that whenever you are generating a proof to some DApp, right, where you're proving that, for example, you're from the US and you're an accredited investor, or you're not from the US, whatever the DApp cares about, then even though that technically it is a zero-knowledge proof, in fact, like, it's not, because if I'm proving to a DApp and I'm allowed to use it because I am from the US, then obviously any site observer with the block explorer can verify that I am from the US, and therefore technically it is zero knowledge, but it's really not. And so this is the second way in which you are leaking the data, right? So whenever you are using thing, and a site observer with the block explorer can do it. And so can whatever know what you are doing, decipher what you are doing. And so basically there are two ways in which you can ameliorate these issues. So the first very important thing is that, well, Fred can explain how exactly we do that, but basically the link between the KYC provider and the on-chain activity is encrypted and can be decrypted in accordance with certain rules in case that there needs to be some kind of a fraud investigation process. So for example, if a particular DApp or a particular transaction within a DApp is kind of like malicious, then there needs to be a pre-established process according to which this transaction is traced back to the user, and the user needs to be informed upfront as to the rules of those, well, of this tracing back, and the user has to assume the risk. So if the user does not want these rules to be applied to his transactions, then he doesn't use the DApp. And in this way, you're creating a market for privacy, basically. So some DApps, which, for example, will be more liquid because they're more regulated, they will have a very easy way to decipher that linkage, right? Because it's much closer to the traditional finance regulatory landscape we have. But other DApps will come which will care for more privacy concerned users, and they will be creating much harder rules of deciphering that link. And then, well, and so basically which DApps will end up with more liquidity is obviously a market matter, and anything that is a market matter is, well, tends to efficiency, presumably. So, and yeah, Fred, do you want to, I mean, does this answer the question?
Yeah, the question was how do you hide the link between the wallet and the KYC?
The basis how we hide it is a Merkle tree, and you put the verification hash of your zero knowledge KYC into this Merkle tree, and then in the zero knowledge proof you verify the Merkle proof for having a valid entry in this tree, and you only disclose in the zero knowledge proof the root of the tree. And this is what you can then check on-chain if the root matches with what is in the smart contract.
And the root is provided by the KYC?
Sorry?
Like okay, you just verify that the zero knowledge exists in the Merkle tree?
No, the Merkle tree is on-chain.
Yeah.
And the user generates a zero knowledge proof that he has a leaf in this tree that is the verification hash of the KYC the guardian issued on chain. So the zero knowledge proof makes sure that the Merkle proof is correct, and the on-chain smart contract checks that the root is matching.
Okay, see.
Any more questions?
My question might sound stupid, but why is your MetaMask purple?
There's a developer version of MetaMask called Flask that you can use to check out new features, and especially for those snaps where you develop extensions of MetaMask. These snaps need to be whitelisted by the MetaMask team to be audited that they are not accessing your keys, for example. So whenever we develop a new version of this snap, we have to use the developer version of MetaMask to be able to use it without this whitelisting process.
Sorry. Do you have any plan to use it like without MetaMask? Like this is like any alternative with Brave Wallet or any other wallet, even Wallet Connect or.
Yes, we're thinking about alternatives, but at the moment, MetaMask Snaps is offering us so many features in a simple-to-develop way that we are going for it with it in the near future, at least. Yeah.